The Silent Watchers. Commander Zora Vex of the Arxis Confederation stood motionless before the massive observation window of the stealth vessel Shadow Seeker, her violet eyes fixed on the blue-green planet rotating slowly against the backdrop of endless stars. Earth, as its inhabitants called it, had captured the Confederation's attention for an unusual reason. It didn't make sense. Another anomalous reading, Commander. Lieutenant Caros reported from his station, his scaled fingers dancing across holographic displays. The energy signatures simply don't match their apparent technological level. The Arxis Confederation had spent decades cataloging and studying civilizations across the galaxy. They had a precise understanding of technological progression, how species developed from primitive industrial societies to spacefaring civilizations. Earth defied these patterns completely. "Show me the latest analysis," Zara commanded, her voice carrying the weight of centuries of scientific authority. The holographic display materialized before her, showing Earth's power output graphs alongside their visible infrastructure. According to all observable evidence, humans barely had a presence beyond their own atmosphere, a primitive space station, a handful of satellites, and occasional chemical-propelled rockets to their single moon. Yet the planet's energy signatures suggested something far more advanced, power usage that rivaled mid-tier galactic civilizations. "They're hiding something," Zora concluded, her antenna twitching with curiosity. "No species develops this way naturally. Their visible technology suggests early space age, but their energy usage—" She gestured at the readings. "This is comparable to a civilization with fusion drives and planetary shields." Deep beneath the Rocky Mountains on Earth, in a facility that officially didn't exist, Director Sarah Chen watched the Arxis vessel on quantum imaging displays that shouldn't have been possible. The alien ship's stealth technology was impressive. To 20th century sensors, to humanity's actual capabilities, it might as well have been outlined in neon. "They've been watching us for 3 months now," General Marcus Hayes noted, his weathered face illuminated by the quantum displays. "Just like the others before them. They all see what we want them to see." Sarah nodded, studying the alien vessel's energy patterns. The Arxis are known for their methodical approach. They'll want to understand the disparity in our readings before they make any moves. She turned to face the assembled leaders in the command center. "Which gives us exactly the opening we need." For 3 centuries, humanity had maintained what they called the Great Facade. After their first brush with hostile alien contact in 2157, Earth's nations had united behind a radical strategy: technological isolation and deception. While appearing to progress at a normal rate, humanity had actually achieved quantum supremacy, developed consciousness transfer technology, and mastered gravity manipulation. "The Arxis are different from our previous watchers," Sarah continued, bringing up historical data. "They're explorers first, conquerors second. They might be more receptive to the truth, or they might see us as a threat to galactic stability," Hayes countered. 300 years of deception won't exactly inspire trust." Sarah allowed herself a small smile. "That's why we're going to let them discover us in exactly the right way. Operation Looking Glass is ready for implementation." The quantum displays showed hundreds of hidden satellites and defense platforms, all perfectly cloaked from conventional detection. Humanity's real space presence dwarfed their public one, extending throughout the solar system in an invisible web of advanced technology. Aboard the Shadow Seeker, Commander Vex was reaching a decision. "Prepare a full-spectrum scan of the planet's southern hemisphere. If they're hiding major infrastructure, we'll find it." "Commander," Lieutenant Caros interrupted, his scales shifting to a worried blue hue. "We're detecting some kind of quantum fluctuation near the planet's moon. It's unlike anything in our database." Zara leaned forward, her scientific curiosity piqued. The readings made no sense. It was as if space itself was being folded in ways that should have been impossible for a primitive civilization. What she didn't know was that humanity had detected her scan preparations. In the Rocky Mountain facility, Sarah Chen gave a brief nod to her quantum operations team. "Time to give our visitors a little peek behind the curtain." Initiate protocol revelation. Across Earth's surface, carefully hidden quantum generators began to power up. The great facade was about to be lifted, but only enough to intrigue rather than alarm. Humanity had spent centuries perfecting the art of revelation, and the Arxis were about to become part of a carefully choreographed dance of discovery. The game was about to begin, and both sides thought they were the ones in control. Only one of them was right. Digital deception. The Arxis Confederation's Science Council convened an emergency session after receiving Commander Vex's preliminary reports. The massive circular chamber, with its crystalline architecture and floating data displays, hosted the greatest scientific minds in Arxis space. Today, they all focused on one puzzling planet. "These readings cannot be accurate," Council Elder Thrax announced, his ceremonial robes shimmering as he gestured at the data streams. "No civilization progresses this way. Their visible technology suggests they've barely mastered basic spaceflight, yet these energy signatures." Commander Vex stood before the Council, her posture rigid. "The readings have been verified multiple times, Elder. There's more. We detected quantum fluctuations near their moon that defy our current understanding of physics." In the observation gallery, First Contact Specialist Renko watched with growing concern. The Arxis had protocols for everything. First Contact, technological assessment, cultural integration. Earth was throwing their entire rulebook into chaos. Meanwhile, beneath the Pacific Ocean, in humanity's quantum computing hub, Dr. James Wong monitored the Arxis Council session through their quantum observation network. Every word, every gesture, every private communication among the alien leaders was being recorded and analyzed. "They're responding exactly as predicted," he reported to Director Chen, who had joined him via quantum projection from the Rocky Mountain facility. Her holographic form stood beside him, studying the real-time data streams. "The quantum fluctuation was the perfect bait," Sarah agreed. "Just advanced enough to intrigue them. Just mysterious enough to make them question their assumptions." She paused, watching the Alien Council debate. "Have they detected any of our other technologies?" James shook his head. "Our quantum camouflage is holding. They can only see what we want them to see. The fluctuations near the moon. The energy signatures were deliberately leaking, and our carefully crafted primitive space program." The true extent of human technology would have shocked the Arxis Council. The quantum computing hub itself was a marvel, a facility the size of a small city, powered by zero-point energy, with processing power that could simulate entire universes. And it was just one of many such installations hidden across Earth and throughout the solar system. Back in the Arxis Council chamber, a new voice joined the debate. "We should send a diplomatic mission," suggested Council member Lyra, her bioluminescent patterns pulsing with excitement. "If they have achieved quantum manipulation while barely reaching space, imagine what we could learn from their development path." "Or imagine the threat they could pose," countered another member. "A species that develops quantum technology before reliable spaceflight. It's unnatural. They could be dangerous." Commander Vex stepped forward again. "With respect, Council members, we're missing the obvious question. Why are they hiding their capabilities? Every scan we run reveals more contradictions. Their satellite network is primitive, yet occasionally displays quantum entanglement patterns. Their space station uses chemical rockets, yet somehow maintains perfect orbit without apparent correction burns." In the Pacific facility, James Wong smiled at these observations. The International Space Station was actually a masterpiece of misdirection, a seemingly primitive structure that housed some of humanity's most advanced quantum cloaking technology. Every primitive aspect of human space presence was carefully crafted to tell exactly the story they wanted to tell. "They're preparing a probe mission," Sarah noted, watching the Alien Council's deliberations. "Time to move to Phase 2 of protocol revelation." She turned to James. "Begin calibrating the quantum grid. When they send their probes, we'll give them just enough of a peek behind the curtain to ensure diplomatic contact." The quantum grid was humanity's masterpiece, a solar system-wide network of quantum-entangled satellites and sensors, invisible to conventional detection methods. It could manipulate space-time itself, control gravity, and even create localized temporal fields. All of this power had remained hidden for centuries, used only in absolute secrecy. In the Arxis Council chamber, the decision was made. "We will send an observation fleet," Elder Thrax announced, "not for contact, but for careful study. If the humans have indeed mastered quantum mechanics without developing standard space technology, we must understand how and why." Commander Vex's antenna twitched with concern. Something about this situation felt wrong, like they were being led down a particular path. But she couldn't prove it, and her scientific curiosity overwhelmed her caution. As the council session ended, Sarah Chen Hologram smiled in the underwater facility. "They're following the script perfectly," she told James. "Humanity has spent 3 centuries preparing for this moment. Time to show them why we chose to stay hidden for so long." The game of deception was entering its next phase, and humanity held all the cards. Cards the Arxis didn't even know existed. The quantum veil. The Arxis observation fleet emerged from hyperspace at the edge of the solar system, their sleek vessels arranged in a traditional scientific formation. 30 ships, each carrying the most advanced sensing equipment in the Confederation, prepared to unravel Earth's mysteries. Fleet Captain Nexer stood on the bridge of the flagship Eternal Seeker, watching the distant blue planet on the main display. "Begin passive scans," he ordered. "Let's see what secrets this world is hiding." In the Rocky Mountain facility, Director Chen watched the alien fleet's arrival through quantum sensors that could track individual atoms across interstellar distances. "They'd brought their best toys," she commented to General Hayes. "Time to let them think they're cleverer than we expected." The general nodded, studying the fleet's formation. "The Arxis pride themselves on their scientific methodology. Let's give them something to analyze." Aboard the Eternal Seeker, the science team detected their first anomaly almost immediately. "Captain," called out senior researcher Vala, her tentacles writhing with excitement, "we're detecting quantum entanglement signatures throughout the system. They're everywhere." Nexer frowned at the data. Quantum entanglement on this scale shouldn't have been possible for a civilization that hadn't even established a lunar colony. Analysis. "The pattern suggests some kind of communication network," Vala replied. "But it's more sophisticated than anything in our database. The entanglement chains are maintaining coherence across astronomical distances." What the Arxis didn't realize was that they were seeing exactly what humanity wanted them to see. The quantum entanglement network was real, but it was only the surface layer of Earth's true technological achievements. In a hidden facility beneath the Mariana Trench, Dr. Maya Patil monitored the Arxis fleet's scanning attempts. "They're probing the quantum network exactly as predicted," she reported to Sarah Chen via quantum link. "Should we proceed with the next phase?" Sarah's quantum projected form nodded. "Show them something interesting. Let's test their reaction to temporal manipulation." Maya's fingers danced across quantum interface controls. Near the Arxis fleet, space-time itself began to ripple in ways that should have been impossible. On the Eternal Seeker, alarms blared. "Captain," Vala called out, her voice tight with disbelief, "we're detecting localized temporal distortions. The humans, they're manipulating time itself." Commander Vex, who had joined the observation fleet, felt her antenna stiffen. "Impossible. Their visible technology suggests they've barely mastered nuclear fission. Time manipulation requires at least a Type Io civilization level." But the evidence was undeniable. The sensors showed clear signs of controlled temporal fields, operating with a precision that exceeded even Arxis capabilities. In the underwater facility, Maya allowed herself a small smile. The Arxis were seeing human technology that was actually 3 generations behind their current capabilities. The temporal fields were old tech, developed over a century ago. "They're launching probes," Sarah observed, watching through quantum sensors. "Time for the real demonstration." As the Arxis probes approached Earth, they encountered something unprecedented. Spaces that seemed empty according to every conventional scan suddenly revealed glimpses of massive structures, orbital platforms, defense systems, and technology that defied classification. "It's like they're lifting a veil," Vala whispered, watching the sensor feeds. "Everything we thought we knew about this species." Captain Nexer made a decision. Send a tight beam transmission to Earth. If they can manipulate quantum states like this, they'll be able to receive it. In the Rocky Mountain facility, Sarah Chen received the transmission request. "Right on schedule," she said to General Hayes. "They're ready for first contact." But humanity wasn't going to respond in any way the Arxis might expect. Instead of a return transmission, the space around the alien fleet began to change. Reality itself seemed to fold, revealing layers of technology that had been perfectly hidden. The Arxis fleet found itself surrounded by structures that dwarfed their ships, massive quantum arrays, temporal stabilizers, and devices that defied their understanding. Earth's solar system wasn't primitive. It was one of the most heavily developed regions of space they had ever encountered. By the first light, Commander Vex breathed, watching as humanity's true technological face was revealed. They weren't developing unusually. They were hiding deliberately. In the Mariana Trench facility, Maya Patel prepared the final phase of the revelation. "Quantum translation matrix online," she reported. "We can now communicate with them in real time, across all languages and conceptual frameworks." Sarah Chen nodded, her holographic form showing a hint of satisfaction. "Send the message we prepared. Let's welcome the Arxis Confederation to the real Earth." As the message was transmitted, the Arxis fleet received their first direct communication from humanity. It wasn't a primitive radio signal or even a quantum packet. It was a complete quantum-engineered experience, allowing them to understand not just words, but concepts, history, and context. The game of hide and seek was over. Now came the truly challenging part, explaining to the galaxy why humanity had hidden its true nature for so long, and what that meant for the future of interstellar civilization. Diplomatic revelations. The quantum-engineered meeting space existed somewhere between real space and digital consciousness. Here, representatives of humanity and the Arxis Confederation could interact directly, their minds connected through technology that made universal translation seem primitive by comparison. Sarah Chen's consciousness interfaced with the space in a form that felt natural to her, while appearing comprehensible to the Arxis representatives. Across from her, Commander Vex and Captain Nexer manifested as themselves, their minds struggling to process the sophistication of the human quantum architecture surrounding them. "You understand now," Sarah began, "why we chose to remain hidden." The quantum space rippled with her words, carrying not just language but complete conceptual understanding to the alien representatives. 3 centuries of deception," Commander Vex responded, her thoughts tinged with a mix of awe and concern. "You achieved quantum supremacy before most species master nuclear fusion. Yet, instead of expanding, you turned inward. Why?" Sarah gestured, and the space around them filled with historical records. Humanity's first disastrous contact with hostile aliens in 2157, the subsequent unification of Earth's nations, and the deliberate decision to hide their true development. "We learned early that the galaxy is not always kind to rapidly advancing civilizations," Sarah explained. "After repelling that first invasion, we realized we needed time. Time to develop, to understand, to prepare. The Great Facade gave us that time." In the physical world, the Arxis fleet remained in position near Earth, surrounded by revealed layers of human technology that redefined what they thought possible. The quantum meeting space allowed their leaders to comprehend the full scope of human achievement, while their analysts studied the visible evidence. "Your technological path is unprecedented," Captain Nexer observed. "You mastered quantum manipulation and consciousness transfer before developing conventional space travel. You built a Dyson swarm but kept it perfectly hidden. You achieved things our scientists thought impossible." We chose a different path, Sarah acknowledged. While other civilizations expanded outward, we expanded inward. We developed quantum technology that could hide entire planetary infrastructures. We built our network throughout the solar system in secret, watching, learning, preparing. The quantum space shifted, showing the true extent of human development. Massive quantum computer complexes buried in pocket dimensions, zero-point energy collectors powering entire continents, and technology that could manipulate the fundamental forces of the universe. But why reveal yourselves now? Commander Vex asked. Why choose the Arxis Confederation for this disclosure? Sarah's consciousness rippled with something like amusement. We've been watching the galaxy for centuries through our quantum observation network. We know the Arxis Confederation values knowledge and peaceful cooperation. You're explorers first, diplomats second. You are the perfect candidates for first contact. First real contact, Nexar corrected. After all your previous observations. Precisely. Sarah caused the quantum space to display dozens of previous alien observation missions, all of which had seen exactly what humanity wanted them to see. We needed to be certain. The galaxy is changing. New threats are emerging. It's time for humanity to step onto the galactic stage, but on our terms. Commander Vex's consciousness pulsed with sudden understanding. The quantum fluctuations we detected, you were testing us, gauging our reactions. Every step of your investigation was anticipated. Sarah confirmed. Your methodical approach, your scientific curiosity, your diplomatic restraint. You proved yourselves worthy of the truth. In the physical world, more of humanity's hidden infrastructure was becoming visible to the Arxis fleet. Massive quantum arrays emerged from dimensional pockets, orbital platforms shifted into normal space, and the true face of human civilization revealed itself layer by layer. The Confederation Council will need to be informed, Captain Nexar stated. This changes everything we thought we knew about technological development and species advancement. We're counting on that, Sarah replied. Humanity is ready to join the galactic community, but not as just another emerging civilization. We offer partnership, exchange of knowledge, and cooperation in facing the challenges that lie ahead. The quantum space rippled with new information. Human predictions of galactic threats, potential futures mapped through quantum computation, and opportunities for advancement that could benefit both civilizations. You've hidden such power, Commander Vex mused, yet you speak of partnership rather than dominance. Why? Sarah's response carried centuries of human wisdom and planning. Because true power isn't about dominance. It's about understanding when to hold back, when to reveal, and when to share. Humanity didn't spend 3 centuries hiding just to emerge as conquerors. We waited until we could emerge as equals, as partners in shaping a better galaxy. The quantum space hummed with the weight of the moment. This wasn't just first contact. It was the beginning of a new era in galactic civilization. Humanity had hidden their light for centuries, developing in secret, waiting for the right moment and the right civilization to share it with. Now that moment had come, and neither humanity nor the galaxy would ever be the same. New dawn. The news spread across the galaxy like a quantum wave, impossible to stop, impossible to ignore. Humanity, long dismissed as a primitive species barely worthy of notice, had revealed itself as one of the most technologically advanced civilizations in known space. In the Grand Assembly Chamber of the Galactic Concordat, representatives from 1,000 worlds gathered to witness humanity's formal introduction to galactic society. The massive chamber, usually organized by technological tier and political influence, had been reorganized to accommodate Earth's unprecedented status. Sarah Chen stood on the central platform, her physical presence a deliberate choice rather than a quantum projection. Behind her, a holographic display showed the true Earth, not the carefully crafted facade of a developing world, but a technological marvel that defied conventional understanding. For 3 centuries, she began, her voice carrying to every corner of the chamber. Humanity chose isolation and secrecy. Today, we choose partnership and progress. In orbit around Earth, the Arxis fleet had been joined by diplomatic vessels from dozens of civilizations. They watched in amazement as more of humanity's quantum infrastructure revealed itself. Massive structures emerging from dimensional pockets, energy collectors that dwarfed gas giants, and technology that rewrote the known laws of physics. Commander Vex, now serving as the primary Arxis liaison to Earth, stood with General Hayes in the Rocky Mountain facility, watching the assembly through quantum feeds. "Your revelation has caused quite a stir," she noted. "Some civilizations are frightened, others are fascinated, and a few are already proposing technological exchanges." Hayes nodded, studying the reactions of the various alien representatives. "Change is always uncomfortable, but the galaxy needs to evolve. The threats we've observed." He gestured to a quantum display showing dark matter anomalies at the galaxy's edge. "We couldn't stay hidden any longer." In the assembly chamber, Sarah was explaining humanity's unique developmental path. "We chose to master quantum mechanics before reaching for the stars. We learned to fold space before we built our first fusion drive. We achieved digital consciousness transfer before establishing a lunar colony. Our path was different, but our goals remained the same: the advancement of knowledge and the preservation of life." The chamber erupted in a cacophony of questions and comments in 1,000 different languages, all perfectly translated by human quantum systems. How had Earth hidden such advancement? What other secrets were they keeping? What did this mean for the galactic balance of power? In the Mariana Trench facility, Dr. Maya Patil monitored the quantum network's performance as it handled the unprecedented level of diplomatic communication. The network wasn't just translating languages. It was bridging conceptual frameworks, allowing species with radically different modes of thought to understand each other perfectly. "The quantum translation matrix is holding stable," she reported to Sarah via their secure link. "We're successfully processing over 1 million distinct communication streams." Sarah acknowledged the report while continuing to address the assembly. "Humanity offers its knowledge and capabilities not as a superior force, but as partners in facing the challenges that lie ahead. Our quantum computers have mapped potential futures, and many show darkness approaching from the galactic core." She gestured, and the chamber's holographic displays showed computational models of galaxy-wide threats, quantum anomalies, dark matter cascades, and temporal instabilities that threatened all civilized space. "We hid our light not out of fear or arrogance, but because we needed time to prepare, to develop, to understand. Now, we offer our understanding to all who would join us in securing our galaxy's future." In the Rocky Mountain facility, General Hayes watched the reactions of the assembled representatives. "They're beginning to understand," he told Commander Vex. "This isn't just about Earth revealing its true nature. This is about the galaxy's survival." The Arxis commander's antenna twitched thoughtfully. "Your species spent centuries developing in secret, achieving things we thought impossible. Yet your first act upon revealing yourselves is to offer partnership and warning. Perhaps humanity's greatest achievement isn't your technology, but your wisdom in how to use it." As the assembly continued, ships from across the galaxy arrived in Earth's solar system, their crews eager to witness humanity's true capabilities firsthand. The quantum network expanded to accommodate the influx, creating secure communication channels and translation matrices for each new arrival. In the assembly chamber, Sarah Chen concluded humanity's introduction to galactic society. "The age of secrecy is over. The age of cooperation begins. Earth stands ready to share its knowledge, its technology, and its vision for the future. Together, we can face any challenge, solve any problem, and ensure the continuation of all our civilizations." The galaxy would never be the same. Humanity had hidden its light for 3 centuries, developing in secret, waiting for the right moment to emerge. Now that moment had come, and with it, the dawn of a new era in galactic civilization. The species that had once seemed primitive had revealed itself as a guardian of knowledge, a master of quantum mechanics, and perhaps the key to the galaxy's survival.